Hello everybody, welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 198, Casual Conversations 103. These ones have slowed way down. Again, I'm just tired of doing them. As always, the primary function of this lecture series is to bring to light ongoing criminal activity. My rights are being violated, my property is being stolen and restricted. I've posted mathematical solutions that are worth $12 million, and more so than that, the reputational damage and career infringement that this has caused has literally destroyed any sense of financial stability I ever could have. And so, I'm trying to bring to light that Article 1, Section 8, Subsection 70 of the United States Constitution asserts my right to my writings and my discoveries, which I have a tremendous amount of, and they just won't do their jobs. And on top of that, for the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution, guarantees me compensation for private property being distributed for public use. And my proofs and the behavioral implications of that is undeniable. And it's going through all of academia. And then I say people are stealing my work, and everyone's like, no, my mom's like, no, they're not. It's like, yes, academia is 100% distributing all of my property. And academia is how you get accredited for any licensure of anything, is how you get it. And so, I'm asking anybody out there that can help me. Again, I'm open to any opportunity. Again, I really want my property. I really would like a time frame simply just to manage my money. And I have enough cash for 4 to 5 years right now today. And if you could just give me a time frame, all of this financial stress stops. But people just act like I don't exist, and it is truly torture. Like everybody out there has never been pushed out of society. I've lived a lifetime in a world you don't know exists. And so I'm asking anybody to give me an opportunity, whether it's employment, whether it's a time frame for publication, whether simply it's a time frame for about publication, so I can just manage my money now. I will do anything. I would literally be a department chair in 15 different subjects at any university on this planet, and I want to get out of my house and do something. But to get out of my house and do something, I need money to be able to do that. And then so I've been doing this job search, which is again stressful in and of itself. And on top of that, you know that you have 15 careers sitting on the internet, so the fact that you even have to search for a job is extremely degrading. Whatever, I have no ego, and frankly, I'm bored. But I want to do something different. I love doing these videos, but nobody watches them, except for the people stealing them. And I go turn on CNBC or any local news station, you can't turn on a TV without hearing it is what it is every 5 seconds. And it's theft. Just pay me my money, please. Or give me a time frame, please. And so, we'll start off with the relevant and random stories related to that. Because again, because of failure to identify me publicly and my presence intimidates people, and then they'll call me a threat because I exist, and then they'll denigrate me and disrespect me every 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. I'm 29 years old, going to be 30 in a couple months here. It has never not happened. That is the time frame in which people behave. And then after 2 years, it just never happened anymore. And so, what's the first one? So again, I had my first interview. I've applied to now 65 jobs, again, of all varying degrees, all of which I'm extremely qualified for. And I've been doing 10 years of entrepreneurship, and so I've done everything in terms of investing, financial analyst, making financial statements, all of it. Basically anything besides like structured accounting or like selling investment products to other people where you need a different type of license. And so, I think that would be my resume is completely legitimate, and I can't get an interview for anything. And so I finally got one interview with New York MetLife, and then I get on this interview the other day, again 100% trying to take it legitimately serious, because I think it was listed as a financial professional. So I'm a financial professional. I'm thinking more of an upper level executive business decision-making role. And again, at the end of the day, I'll do anything, but it's like the one thing I will not do is rely on your personal network and high-pressure sales like a magazine drive in high school. So I get onto this interview trying to take it completely serious, and it's just funny. It's like, this guy named Chris introduces himself, nothing wrong with this guy, but he's just like, it's just so strange when it's like, he's like, we need someone dedicated and hardworking and disciplined. And it's like, I submitted my resume. You can see my business is in progress publicly. I mean, I post about it every day. And so it's just like, I don't know if people read the interviews or emails or resumes, or if it's just like what people are doing in this world. I just really don't get it. But regardless, going to this interview, and it's just like, you have to, the thing was listed for like, between $60,000 and $150,000. And I was just like, okay, let's just try. And so then it just turned out to be a completely like, a hustle and grind, rely on your personal networks to sell life insurance products. I was a licensed life insurance agent when I was 19, and I had the same amount of opportunities and network capacity then. So it's like in 10 years, literally nothing has changed. The one response I can get out of 65 applications is to be like literally just like a pure commission-based thing. And so, and you had to hit like some sort of $50,000 in commission 3 years in a row to get promoted to the thing where you might make 60 grand to 150 or something. You have to like build a team. And it's just so frustrating because I can't build a network because I got ostracized from everybody that ever I could have networked with. Nobody will touch anything I do. If I could network, I would have 15 careers now. I wouldn't be making these videos. I'd probably still be making these videos, but I wouldn't be looking for a job, which is insane to me. Not because I'm above it, not because I'm arrogant, it's because I already have 15 careers, and then I have the actual law enforcement, and my actual neighbors who have approached me 50 times, like, why are you still thinking about money? And my parents and my community, like, you know, well, why don't you go out there and do something? I'm trying everything, and nothing works. Nothing works, there is no law enforcement, there are no laws. My constitutional rights are directly violated, and people just blame the victim. And so, I rescinded my application from that, because that's the one thing I can't network. People will not buy from me. People will not do anything. And the one thing I want to do is high pressure sales. I'm open to anything else. Even a low paying retail job I would do. Simply to get around other people even. To socialize. If I have to interact with a customer, at least it's not the only type of interactions I have is the 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months of denigration. That is the only interactions I have. And so, but I would like, again, besides the actual academic positions that I've rightfully earned, I have so much business acumen. It's like, why can't I get any sort of response on that? I can't imagine what applications or resumes people are receiving that actually get interviews. Then I get on Reddit the next day, and it's like some kid who's 24 is like, I just made a 60% increase in raise in salary. I now make $105,000 after 2 years in accounting. And it's just like, you know, I'm not an accountant. I don't have the qualifications or actual, experience doing actual accounting. But anything else in terms of business building, finance, investment, analyst, all of that stuff, compliance, I've done till I was blue in the face. And there are no laws because I have my alcohol company that the FDA won't let us sell a product because it's healthier alcohol, but our academic institutions are fraudulent, completely and entirely. And so it's just like, that's how the job interview is going. So I'm sure, Mom, if you watch this, I'm 100% trying, but my constitutional rights are violated. I know you don't think that the 50 different interactions at the apartment buildings with people coming up to me directly from the government or academia isn't real, but I have no ability to network, and looking for a job as it is stressful, and not having constitutional rights on top of that is impossible. It's just not possible to do. So I'm fucked. I'm absolutely fucking fucked. I have no problem bleeding out my savings if I had a time frame. None, zero. Time frame within 5 years, I would be done worrying about money now, today. I would have been done worrying about money 7 years ago. But people will not treat me like a human being. They just won't. So that's how my interview went. And so that was the only, I did get one other response where it was like, it wasn't even like, we reached out to you, it was like, your resume was enough for you to call us to set up to maybe have an interview. And this one, the ad was like, high pressure sales. And it was just like, no, I'm not going to follow up on that one. And so that's how I tried, but and then the second one was for like $40,000 of like high, and it was high pressure sales. And it was like, work along the CEO and high paced environment. It's like, I just want a job where I can just sit there, maybe type in some numbers, or do something where it doesn't break my back, because my back is still injured because I can't access healthcare. So, but I'm fucked. I'm absolutely going to be fucked by the end of summer. So if push comes to shove, I'll go get a minimum wage job at Target, and hopefully that's enough to cover stuff. But so again, I've called the FBI multiple times trying to, again, have the law enforcement enforce the law, which is kind of like their little job, and that's why they get paid every 2 weeks from taxpayer dollars, is to do their job, but they don't investigate anything because they just pick and choose what they want. And so I called up the FBI, and I range from anything from just being disrespectful to legitimately just trying to see if they would just won't hang up on the phone. And so I call this, I forget what I said this to, again, I've called the FBI hundreds of times, I emailed them hundreds of times, trying to get something up. I've been there in person, they almost pulled a gun on me, again, being completely calm. The most mature, calm person ever, calmly approaching somebody, giving them a piece of paper where it says, the first line says, this is not a threat, can I please have constitutional rights? And the guy literally says to me, we'll take your literature, but we're not going to help you. And the literally says, what constitution? Literally to my fucking face. Literally. And so I called him again, but they said to me, he literally said, don't you have anything better to do? Clearly aware of who I am. No, collecting my property has destroyed every waking moment of my financial stability, and hence my entire life. So I don't have anything better to do than besides to find a way to feel safe. That is the most biologically instinctual thing you could ever have to be forced to do, and I'm forced to do it because you guys won't do your job. And then I had operator 59954 at the Cincinnati office say, okay, I'm disconnecting the call after blaming the victim. I literally, you can get to a point, because again, these are people that make 40 grand a year, they think they are patriots or something, they have contributed nothing to society or to education or to historical understanding whatsoever, and she literally gets offended because she's like, why would somebody do that to you? It's like, that's the point of being a victim of a crime, and then you have someone who's mature as a 14-year-old, they just blame you. So that's what happens when you try to report the crime. Oh, but I got threatened by my neighbors for existing. This was kind of a funny story. And so again, I sit outside. Like, once you reach fundamental derivation, anytime I get exposed to language, which is all of the time, whether I'm just thinking, reading, or listening, theorems just pop out. And so I just get kind of lost in a daze. I'll just sit there for hours, I'll stand there, I'll just chill outside, enjoy the weather. And so again, obviously it's been very toasty here in Columbus, Ohio. But I'm going standing in my backyard. It's Memorial Day, or like the Saturday before, I guess. And I'm just standing outside, and again, I pretty much met all of my neighbors except for one the catty corner adjacent one. And so they're just kind of, they look like they have a family gathering. They're outside. And so our backyards are like 5 yards apart. Like, it's like, if you're outside and your neighbors are outside, like you could hear each other. You're right next to each other. And so I'm just by my fence line, literally just walking, enjoying my yard, standing there for a bit. And I might have been standing by the fence line for like 10, 15 minutes. And these two dudes come up, get off the table, and come over to me like aggressively. It's like, what are you staring at? And I was most legitimately not staring at them to any capacity at all. I was just standing in my yard. Our backyards are maybe 5 yards apart, and I'm literally just enjoying the day. And I'm just literally just standing there. I stand outside and sit outside all day, right? Like my fat neighbor where her friends, when you're walking past me at HQ Flats, he just sits up there all day. I can't do anything else. If you can't give me a way to socialize or a way to have employment, there was nothing for me to do intellectually. Like nothing, it doesn't exist. And so, past what I'm already doing, which I do all day. And so it was just like the weirdest thing. I was like, I almost like laughed at him. I was like, I'm standing in my yard, like, what's going on? And immediately, once people think you're doing something stupid, they come up and approach you aggressively, and you just have like no reaction. They're just like, oh, bummer. And so, but then this is the part that makes me want to defend my fucking property with every fucking legal right I have. He says, points to it in my house and says, go get inside. Motherfucker, you ever threaten me in my fucking house, I will use every fucking legal right I have to defend my property. Every fucking legal one. So, got the addy. So, we'll see how that goes for you, neighbor. See how that goes for you. But yeah, that's exact word for word verbatim what Prashant said to me. Again, literally when I was standing at Grafton Park, unsolicited coming up to me, and then gets offended, and then gets our children, and then you blame me and tell me to get inside. Don't ever fucking approach a grown man at his fucking home and tell him to go inside his own fucking house. Go put yourself in the fucking ground. That's what the fuck you do, neighbor. So besides that neighbor, the neighbors are all friendly besides that guy. But I was just taken aback when they first approached me saying, what are you staring at? Like, legitimately nothing. Our backyards are 5 yards apart. And once you tell me to go inside, that's when it's like, you don't step foot on my fucking property. No, absolutely not. So I did get threatened by my neighbors. That was fun. I met another neighbor who was like several doors down named Kevin. He's friendly. It's kind of interesting though, because he drove past one day, just introduced himself to say, hey, handshake. And he just guessed I was military. I was like, no, I'm the furthest thing from a military or supporter of anything with law enforcement, simply because I'm a citizen that has his entire life destroyed because you guys won't do your jobs. So Memorial Day, great. I'm thankful for all those soldiers out there fighting for the rights I do not have. I appreciate you guys so much. Please do your jobs, maybe, please. So that was that. Any other stories? Yeah, I got popcorn stuck in my teeth. So this is just another scenario, example of being absolutely financially stressed, which is absolutely mind-numbing. So I haven't had insurance to any capacity at all in 4 years. And so I'm just over here hoping something doesn't go wrong. So I had a snack the other day. I had some popcorn. And I have this piece of this kernel just lodged in between my back two molars. I've been trying desperately to get it out. I keep thinking I get it, then I don't. And so, but I'm over here like, okay, so now I have to go pay $200 to go to the dentist or whatever. And so it's just like every little thing that turns into money is a catastrophe simply because of crime. And then the FBI will say to me literally stuff to the effect of, don't you have anything better to do? Besides to try to survive where I have actually physical damage because you guys won't pay me my money and I don't have financial security to access healthcare, I really don't have anything better to do than that. So that's the stories for today. This will probably be a pretty long episode again. These will be about I don't know, whenever I feel like doing them. So like I said, the only project that I'm definitely going to continue, and again, I'll pick back up on videos as soon as everything goes, if everything ever takes off. But if not, like I said, I literally have no problem going get a job as a retail job at Target, simply to interact with people and cover basic bills. I don't care. But as long as, again, I can't do high pressure, I won't do high pressure sales at all, and because I can't network, that's a legitimate fact. And second of all, I can't do something that's going to destroy my back. My back is already pretty injured. Like, I really do need health care. But this is America where we have so much freedom. So the project I will certainly finish is the Bible read aloud, just as a history project. I enjoy reading, and that is a completable goal, whereas the news doesn't stop. So I guess one other quick story. My YouTube's taken off now. I have 59 subscribers, which I'm sure I'll lose a couple for how frequently I upload. But yeah, I did 2 cover songs yesterday. But I got a new comment. I thought this was interesting on the Bible read through. This was on part 79, Ezekiel 13:13 through 22:31. This person writes, "In the Holy Scriptures, there are certain things that are very difficult to understand unless God allows us complete access to the true meaning. Nope, if you can't explain something simply, you don't know it all. Concerning Ezekiel 13:17 through 23, don't know the exact verses. What's that ones are? There are many general interpretations." Now, the book of Ezekiel is just one big parable, one big analogy of him saying, here's my realization through the concept of God, and with no real specifics. The book of Ezekiel is way too general to be interpreted as anything. And if you can't say it simply, you don't know it at all. Completely true. And so it's just the writer was writing word salad. That's the interpretation. Someone on this earth must have the exact interpretation, but I've never heard it. No. I'll tell you, Ezekiel 13:17 through 23 is still happening today, right under our noses, of even true Christians. Again, the book of Ezekiel, Christ has not been born yet. That has nothing to do with Jesus Christ at all. So again, I'm glad people have any concept of, again, the New Testament and the Old Testament, just different people, and by like 50,000 years. I pray to God Almighty to allow me to tell it all. Yep, there we go. There's the individual I, nobody knows that I am the one. I am the next coming of Christ. Nope, I'm Brad. I do mathematics. I run a YouTube channel that nobody watches. I have a bar and restaurant. I can't advertise properly because the crime we just covered. I have an alcohol company I can't sell properly because of the crime we just covered. And so, but this guy's going to tell it all. I humbly and meekly ask you for your prayers. Before writing me off, please seek discernment from God as to whether I say the truth or not. Thank you and God bless you. And so again, obviously some religious dude, does the comments like that bother me in any way? No, not really. But it's just like, I just got another Indeed update. Thank you for applying to Vice President of Sales. Unfortunately, they have moved on. They're not selecting you. Yep, instant blame, instant rejections, obviously. Classic. But no, like religious people don't bother me because it's too specific. Like, you're not saying anything like direct, as opposed to like someone saying something shitty about my music. It's like, I can clearly do music. You might just want to go into the denial and blame me for it, but that's how the YouTube is going. So that was the YouTube comments, getting up to 59 whole subscribers. So shout out to my new subs. Appreciate you. Sure you'll unsub real quick. Basically, not really onto just the current events and talking points. Martha Stewart is the cover model for Sports Illustrated at 81 years old. Looked good for 81. I haven't looked at a Sports Illustrated in years. Don't care. Jay-Z and Beyonce buy the second most expensive home in American history, ? I think it was in history or not recent history. That's the question mark is where I'm not exactly sure if that's true. At $200 million and originally listed at $295 million. Definitely the higher end home sales, there's a lot more negotiation, whereas in like the lower end, last summer everyone's paying 5% over asking, but the upper end financial markets or upper end real estate sales, you almost always will negotiate down substantially because there's way less buying competition. But I'm glad you can do music for a while and afford anything, as I'm over here literally living below poverty and literally having the rug pulled out from underneath me every 2 months. So I'm glad you guys can afford that. At least 10 killed and many injured from a shooting at a Mexican road racing event. Letting them choppers blast, squeezing. Meta fined $1.3 billion for supplying the U.S. with consumer data. U.S. government, I'm assuming. But what do I think about sharing information with the government? In general, I'm for privacy on a personal level. I just don't care. Whether I'm jerking off or whether you can have all my search engines, and even if I wasn't super science dude, I would completely not care because I'm just not doing dumb shit. So it's like, if you want to watch me, how do you do, neighbor? Like and subscribe. So, again, generally, I would be against a private company giving the government data for whatever, but as a single individual making a choice, I would have no problems. I'm just not doing anything stupid. Ben Shapiro says the consumption and production of pornography is evil. But what about choice, Ben? What about someone's choice to do what they want with their body, buddy? Oh, but again, COVID, but when you sneeze, that affects me. If you go both consent and have sex over there, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my health. And so, Ben Shapiro is such a fucking Looney Tune. And you're going to lose your company as soon as I can fucking sue you. So, the production of and consumption of anything with consent is not evil. And sex is extremely natural. And masturbation is extremely natural. And pornography is not evil. So, but good try, Ben. Keep wearing your yarmulke, buddy. Fetty Wap, a.k.a. Willie Maxwell, sentenced to 6 years in federal prison for drug trafficking scheme. Pleaded guilty, saying COVID-19 brought on financial hardships. Guess the stimmy check didn't cover Fetty Wap's fucking property taxes, so I had to secure the bag. 1738. And some bops. Haven't heard from him musically in a while. But classic. But it's amazing to see stuff like this, where someone can actually have like fame or have like a genuine pop and then not know how to manage money. When I'm over here with 15 careers sitting on the internet begging for the slightest pop of anything, I would be completely fine managing money. Anything over $3,000 a month, I'm a rich man. Seriously, I know how to manage money out the wazoo. And so it's just made truly amazing to me. And it's not rare. We have all these athletes who go broke, but it's just like amazing. You can actually get like famous and popular before you know how to manage money. And I'm over here with like your words, not mine. He's probably more mature than all of us, so I definitely am. But I just need one pop, one little bit of momentum to go somewhere. Tina Turner dies aged 83. Good singer, a little before my time. Don't know too many songs, definitely know the name. But like I said, I gave music a shot. Released 2 songs yesterday, but it's YouTube. It's a YouTube. Every day is a YouTube day, or at least making videos day. And so it's just, I'm not a musician, I'm a failed YouTuber, and I have a small bar and restaurant. That's my life. 17-year-old Mississippi boy shot in the chest after calling police at his mom's request for protection from an abusive partner, was shot while directly following police commands. And so this is like when that fucking freak show shithole hospital calls on in a wellness check. Wellness checks in America are death sentences, man. And I just need to get the fuck out of this broken country with 14-year-old children who are scared of their own shadows. And so absolutely atrocious, should be fired, obviously, the whole thing, fuck 12. 3 boats sunk in apparent coordinated orca attack. Behavior is learned, meaning there was even some documentation of an orca teaching the other ones. Motivations from the orcas might be fucking with you, might be genuinely feel like infringing on their territory. But the high intelligence animals might be fucking with you, like just flipping you over for fun. But interesting to see that. I always like animals, so that's, I don't know, interesting. Stinks for the boat owners, but interesting that the orcas are doing that. U.S. lawyer admits to using ChatGPT in legal filing that cited non-existent cases. So these are the lawyers that go to school and get their certifications, lie, cheat, and steal, lie, cheat, and steal. His defense was he thought they were real cases. And that person has a piece of paper to say that he can represent somebody. Incompetence. Disbar him, don't let him do anything again, and I'm glad these people get law degrees. And law school is 2 years? I've been lecturing legally after doing the background of reading and writing extensively 5 years before that. So I'm still, I'm not allowed to have a piece of paper to say I'm a lawyer or a physicist, even though you just need to click publish on a PhD that has enough lecturing to be like, a couple hundred on the internet, and then my actual derivation in mathematics and a math something that nobody else is doing math in. That's got to be a couple million theorems, like honestly. And certainly done, but emailed to you guys, I don't know, a couple 100,000. But that's the type of competence we get from our educational system here in America.
State Farm to stop accepting home insurance applications in California due to wildfires and construction costs. And insurance is such a scumbag fucking business. Just such a fucking scumbag business. Create a problem and then make people buy it and then fight everything tooth and nail to not pay out any claims. Is the U.S. going to default on debt interest payments for the first time in history? Again, these talking points are over about 10 days to 2 weeks, so it might be a little older. All of my videos are uploaded on the same day. So I think they extended the debt. I think it was June 5th. I think they extended it a little farther, but yeah, I don't care. I hate America. America sucks. Cocks, dicks. 2 women fired from Lululemon for telling thieves to get out of the store while stealing thousands in merchandise. Why? What is the zero policy? What is the zero tolerance policy for employees telling thieves to stop stealing shit? So that is ridiculous. Again, I would as a business owner, I would tell people maybe not to do anything physical, but simply telling them to stop stealing. And then they show a brief clip, but if that was just it, then I would. That's insane to me. But maybe not confront them physically, especially not if you're a girl, a robber. Even just for employee safety, let alone consumer, like protecting the cost of product. But just simply firing employees for telling them not to steal is absolutely insane to me. Yeah. A person needs to regularly work 20 hours a month to receive food stamps. Like I am too poor to qualify for government assistance. Literally. It's all because we can do basically whatever we want. Which for the people listening, that's a reference to someone literally coming up to me at my house unsolicited saying, we can do basically whatever we want. And I'm over here begging for food and healthcare, literally. But I can't even receive food stamps, man. Sweet. Cool beans. Lizzo says she's starting to hate the world and is close to quitting music because of all the online hate about her weight. She is fat as fuck. That is very, very true, Lizzo. You're a famous musician. I have no respect for you as I'm over here begging for food, and I could be a musician. Again, even a little touring one that maybe makes $50,000 a year. At least I would get out and go do something. But it's hilarious to see people that can just literally turn off their cell phone. Just stop looking at the fucking internet and go enjoy their wealth, caring about what someone says on the internet. The only reason I would give it any fuck about any good or bad said to me on the internet is simply when I'm in this position over here where I have actual careers on the internet, and if you guys would just share them or comment for the algorithm, then I could go from literally poverty to a comfortable life. From a comfortable life to wealth, I don't care. But from extreme financial stress to a comfortable life, everybody really fucking cares. And so, I have no sympathy for Lizzo. It looks like she has a plus-size women's brand anyway. And again, you just need less calories in than you expend, or expend more calories than you put into your body, and you will lose weight. That is true. I'm over here begging for food, and it's like I evaporate, and I'm not even exercising very much anymore. And it's just I don't know how people put on extensive amounts of weight. They feel safe enough to eat. That's actually how. And I'm over here just too financially stressed to feel safe, literally. 18-year-old jumps off ship in shark-infested waters in the Bahamas and is never seen again. Pretty viral video that went around Reddit for certain. Didn't really see it on any major news stations. But just a sucky, shitty situation. Know how to make decisions, and 18-year-old on a party boat, probably a little drunk maybe, but jumps off. You can see him swimming. They throw him a buoy. And I didn't check in to see how valid it was, but they allege that you can see a shark in the actual video. It's going towards the buoy and starts to swim away. I don't know if that was true, but the Bahamian authority said it's a very shark-infested place. So probably getting eaten by sharks would not be a fun way to go. So that's the stinkies, but again, people need to know how to behave. And I don't call 18-year-old children. And it bothers me. It drives me crazy. If you can get your head blown off in war, drafted into a lethal combat, and people still call you, oh, you're young at 18, or you're still young at 25. No, you're an adult at 18. Treat them like adults. And that goes for anything, man, because this is the behavior that has ruined my life. The older generations, the older millennials, the baby boomers, Gen X, or whoever is up there, literally projecting onto people there that they take a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old and say, how would I behave at that age? And that must be what you're doing. And that behavior is literally what's got me here to the point of scapegoating to the point where I can't have a career, family, and I desperately need food and healthcare, literally. So people are, if you can get drafted into lethal combat at 18, you were an adult at 18, and stop calling people young as adults. Just because it took you guys till 55 till never to grow up to mature to about, you know, what an average 30-year-old should behave like. It's not like you don't need a gold star, you don't need to be in positions of leadership, and you guys are just cowards. And even more so than cowards are immature, but just more generally, just profoundly immature and incompetent and selfish. What's in my headphones? This Wild Life dropped a couple new songs. No More Waiting, featuring Brian Burkheiser of I Prevail. I really enjoyed. I like I Prevail. And don't know the band. I know a lot of like the rock metal band scene. Don't know all of the names, but I thought that was a really good song. That was released just yesterday or whatever. They also had another song, How'd You Forget Us, featuring Joshua Roberts from Magnolia Park. I bumped Magnolia Park quite a bit. Definitely on the recommended before, or they would. I think I've recommended them before. If I haven't, it's just because it was before I was doing What's in My Headphones. Those two tracks, I really like the No More Waiting, but How'd You Forget was also a good one. Ozuna Isla de Cierta was good. That was recently released. I like Belo Zlato, which is a Russian group. They sing a bunch of folk songs on YouTube. And two more, Nako Bear and Medicine for the People dropped a song called Enough, which I always thoroughly enjoy Nako Bear. His Warrior People and Wash It Away I frequently return to and thoroughly enjoy those songs. And the last one, Do It Again by Kevin Gates, which I thought was fun and enjoyable. Moneybagg Yo dropped an album. I'll check that out eventually. Again, not walking much now because of the heat, but I typically check out new albums when I go on walks. And so that is what is in the headphones, and it's just amazing. It's been 3 to 4 years since Cartel Swag, Kevin Gates. King B, I bought you a chain, they're making it rain on you. Something, we're going to war with God behind you today. Oi, motherfucker, today. Like, do something. So I like your music, and as a human being, I have no respect for you whatsoever. Along with anybody, to any capacity at all, with any ability to help my life improve. None. The Bible is banned in select Utah elementary and middle schools for now for vulgarity and violence. I love seeing the tit for tat type of shit. As I'm 71% reading through the Bible aloud, you have some awareness of a really smart, intelligent person from ancient times, whether his name was actually God or not. Again, I think it was Aaron, not Aaron from Moshe's time. I just think that was his name from intuition, and my intuition is profound. That's how I do theorems faster than I breathe. And then the awareness of that spreads through all of the species. And then you have any society, you have presidents or lords or governors or monarchs or whatever. You have a thing of authority. And so when they say, I Lord or I God, they're assuming the authority of the rank of this intelligence, of reason, of ration, of being the big man on campus, of being the most mature person in the group. And then you have 50,000 years of this history, and then the Hebrews start writing shit down 3,500 years ago. And so there's a way huge time gap from when this really smart person actually lived to when, with the concepts going on, to when people actually started writing down history books. And so again, the first writing was just ledgers about business. And then we're not into the New Testament yet, where that's the actual about Jesus Christ's life. And so to see the Bible banned for vulgarity and violence, it's really just a tit for tat. It's some sort of special actual book. The Holy Bible, just kind of like one of the first history books. That's it. And then a bunch of weird people, just like people that fangirl over celebrities, which I think is weird as fuck, is the same thing, but just with reason and with things that actually matter. Right? The next big pop star doesn't really matter. How you live your life and the values and the, just even healthcare or ethics that you have is going to matter a lot more. And people have this identity crisis where they want to be good people. And so we have to have the rank in our society, the ability to be a hero, the ability to be the leader, the ability to be whatever. And so saying like just that there's any sort of extensive reaction to the Holy Bible as some unique book is just insane to me. But again, like the Catholic Church is never going to fucking change, and they'll just say the book, and it's like it's clearly about different people over a long period of time. And it's extremely redundant. Like I said, it's an extremely literal book. The book of Ezekiel is kind of ephemeral, but it's not. It's just the writer. If you can't write clearly, you don't know what you're saying. There's nothing to interpret. And so banning any books, I think, is rather, I wouldn't say stupid. Again, age appropriate. I mean, great movie used to be age appropriate. So I don't think banning books, because you'll have some, I'm an atheist on Reddit. I'm an atheist. I am against all book banning. I don't speak in absolutes. I do whatever the fuck makes sense. And so, saying that was kind of funny, just more so because of the reaction to the Bible in general as some sort of special book, as opposed to just, 14-year-old adult children, tit for tacking each other over values, is just rather intriguing. Uh-oh, the stairs attack again. Joe Biden falls down again. Watch out for those sandbags. Yeah, he's definitely not fully functional. But nobody is. Again, everyone in any position, whether you're Ben Shapiro on a podcast, or you're Christine Varconi on the local news station, or you're Joe Biden, the actual president, or anybody of any sort of global, you are hurting people by not disseminating scientific information. Facts. But Joe, again, our leaders should be competent human beings, which definitely is never going to exist. Over 300 people dead in India after train derails. They're searching for survivors. I think I have over 300, but I think this morning I heard it was approaching 300. Regardless, big cataclysmic event, or catastrophic event. A lot of deaths, a lot of people in India. But that stinks. The U.S. government says they don't approve of Ukraine attacking Russia, but it's up to them. Richly fucking hilarious. Richly fucking hilarious. We'll approach this. This is our final talking point, but from the international to the local interactions, right? So, if someone, right, let's say like murder or self-defense, right? You have killing, which it means ending a life. Killing could be justified or unjustified, and murder implies some intentionality or some sort of aggressive or initiation of the killing. And so, if someone walks up to you with the intent to kill you, like robbing you, stealing your shit, putting you up at a gun, and they run away, and then you shoot them in the back, and then they're like, you can't shoot them in the back. It's like why? Like 4 seconds ago, they just threatened my life. How do I know the threat's neutralized? How do they not going to turn back around and shoot me? How do I know this or that? And so clearly, if an armed robber comes into your place of business or robs your fucking home, they are initiating the contact. So you should be able to defend yourself. Period. I mean, that's what should occur. And so, and conversely, right, that's the law from the citizen standpoint. Most places you can't shoot people in the back, or you can't do this, or you can't use lethal force for a variety of different reasons. And then your Lululemon employees get fired for telling people simply to stop stealing. But then on the flip side, if you're the law enforcement, again, I just watched a video on Reddit where 2 officers come to this place. I don't know what the warrant's for. I don't know what's going on. But the dude is literally standing there like this, and the door, literally, this officer opens the door, and before you can even see what's going on, he just negligently discharges his firearm. Thankfully, didn't hit anybody. And then the other cops are like, "Go, gun!" And he just starts screaming shit. And the officer, his partner, is the one who fired the gun. And the guy is still standing there, rock solid, just like, if I flinch once, I'm dead. Again, that's why when I approach Deputy Robbins, who then charges me on my property, he's like, "What are you doing? Get back inside!" So that makes it 3 grown men on my property doing nothing wrong, yelling at me to get back in my own house. 3. I've lived here for 10 months. But back to the video, he's sitting there like this. You cops are fucking freak shows. But from the law enforcement standpoint, they can just cover their own asses. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And now that's at the local interaction. Now to the talking point of the U.S. government telling Ukraine, the U.S. government who from the 50s till today has overthrown how many governments? Has installed how many proxy wars? Has backed how many militias? So the American people and the American government are going to come from a place of a moral authority? Fucking hilarious. Read a history book. And stop waving your flag and listening to screeching bald eagles and thinking this country's good. But so that just off the bat, that made me laugh, like literally laugh out loud. And then, but again, to the point of I'm completely for it if someone's imminently threatening your life to being able to neutralize the situation within a reasonable time frame afterwards. And then it would be completely consistent with being able to say Ukraine could absolutely fucking attack Russia for being the aggressors, like profound aggressors. And so, classic United States, raging hypocrisy. That's what Americans are, man. Hypocrites. Valueless hypocrites that get offended and are so privileged and selfish they just play games and come all day. Go chase that career and say how much of a family, how much you guys care about your family. And in reality, everyone has favorite kids, and everyone has this and that, and the family dynamic here in America doesn't even exist. So that is it for today. And I'm really asking for anybody to help me. Please, please, please give me a time frame for publication so I can simply manage my money and stop being financially stressed every minute of every day. I've served this community, I've created value for the species, I have a ton of fucking property, I have businesses right now that could simply support more. Everybody in the FBI, go buy, any law enforcement, go buy food at my restaurant. Like, how the fuck can you not do that? But the only real explanation is people like to watch me fucking suffer. Scapegoating is a real psychological process. And once I teach you people, once you actually find I'm more mature than you, and then I intimidate you for existing, it's not like I initiate any aggression or anything, I just exist and I want my property, not allowing me to access my property has destroyed my ability to have a career and family. I would like that to stop, which is kind of like the American dream and stuff, which is everybody else is chasing, everybody else gets to do. I'm over here doing stuff, grinding this stuff out every single day. And frankly, I like making videos. I just wish people would watch them publicly to the point where, again, like to anybody else out there on the YouTube game, there's a come up. You get on your computer one day and people are watching your videos. You have 10 more subscribers, or 1,000 new subscribers, or 10,000 new subscribers. And I'm over here watching onesie twosies trickle in like every year. And so, again, this is well into year 6 of full-time YouTubing, meaning making videos, but not like nowhere close to monetization or anything. And I'm open to anything. I'll go to any country, I will do any job that I'm qualified for with a reasonable salary, and if I can't figure that out, I just have to get a retail job and these videos will stop. So, as I got till the end of summer, there's not much I can do, and I'm just done fighting it. This world can do whatever they want, and they've kicked me out of it for some reason, and they'll never change. As every single fucking validation from an academic institution or a licensure from the state is directly affected by distributing my property. So thank you for watching. Somebody please find it in them to help me, and I will see you on the next one if there is one.